Smarks and in the know pro wrestling fans may be familiar with the mass transit incident. I won't go into detail about it, as others have cataloged those events better than I ever could, and there's even video of it. However, those sad incidents aren't as unfortunate as what about 100 drunk people witnessed at an IWA event back in 1998 at the Renix Restaurant live showroom. I was among these drunk attendees for this event. I regularly ate at the Renix, so I saw all the 5 shows that the IWA did before the owner of the Renix, a religious, uptight, and, above all else, private widower, banned all future bookings in the live showroom due to the IWA's performance. The first few shows only drew like 12 people, maybe 20. They weren't great shows either. But the counterculture personas enthralled me. I mean, the WWF was experimenting with new things at the time, but after seeing these grunge and metal-themed wrestlers, like real people, the WWF ones felt so plastic, like the action figures that were made from them. It also wasn't as forced and as formulaic as the ECW VHS tapes I had seen. The venue allowed for fan interaction with babyface wrestlers like I'll Be Damned, a black wrestler with like a Dennis Rodman haircut and ropes on his biceps like a Muay Thai fighter. He acted black, but not to the degree that it came off like a stereotype, which, common in wrestling. I'll Be Damned had the spot that he'd do every show. It was a fan favorite. He would climb up on one of the 2 wooden rafters where they had table seating, high-five someone, sign autographs, do something cocky like that, and then he would do a crossbody splash into the ring from high up. It was impressive, but it was really pretty safe, as he'd be caught by like 2 or 3 people. I shouldn't have to tell you that this is fake, right? Okay, so the fan interaction, it made it feel like a community. I was part of a community. I was part of a community that had one major problem. His name was Derek the Diver. Terrible name, right? A terrible person. I was leaning over one of the 2 sturdy wooden rafters, looming over the ring with a gin and tonic, the first time I heard his theme song play, Livin' on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, a leitmotif that would, since that time, mark a turn for the worst in my day. The whole thing would play, including the long intro. By the end of said intro, the smell of well whiskey would permeate the venue, as if his appearance alone cheapened the property value. He'd awkwardly air-strum the chords to the song, draped in a black and red boa, wearing a leather jacket and Bret Hart-style shades. Hair metal due to the max. By the 3rd gig, he had what we in the wrestling world call X-Pac heat. That is, people genuinely hated him. Other wrestlers hated him because he wouldn't sell things. By that I mean he wouldn't play like he was hurt, even when he was booked to lose a match. Word of mouth was, he was also a stiff hitter. Women hated him because of his poor pickup lines. He was too old to be chasing the skirts he was chasing too. He would say he was a star to these young women. I think he believed it too. He'd regularly take drinks out of people's hands while wrestling and gulp them down. Expensive drinks, like Long Island iced teas and shit. Mind you, he's booked as the good guy. But everything about him was repulsive, from his manners to his sweaty, spray-tan, fake-ass, cut-right WCW appearance. Ugh. The last show, I'll Be Damned was booked to fight the Po' Boys in a handicap match. The Po' Boys had their car break down, so I'll Be Damned was rebooked to fight Derek. When this was announced, the ring announcer had genuine remorse on his face. It's strange now, that expression on his face, when I think about it. It just seemed like he was groaning for the same reason we were at the time. We all knew I was supposed to win. I knew I blew my $5 cover charge long before the Bon Jovi song queued up. The smell of whiskey made me retch. As usual, Derek was drunk. and he wouldn't sell a damn thing. After a few stiff punches, I'll be damned had had it, so he started delivering stiff punches back. He knocked Derek on his ass and yelled,
"I'll be damned."
Derek retreated out of the ring to the rafters and positioned himself to jump off right in front of me. Al stood in the middle of the ring with a crooked expression and his hands on his hips, and Derek looked back at me, ready to jump, and said, "You can do anything, kid," in a really awkward manner. I was 20. Derek stumbled on his leap and didn't make it into the ring, as he landed face first on the concrete. I'll be damned only looked shocked for a moment.
"Living on a prayer? You ain't no more. You're king nothing."
After the live show area shut down, it wasn't long until the building was up for sale. They couldn't get rid of the smell of whiskey.